friends, thanks for tuning in. We're going to work on some easy printmaking today. This is on a styrofoam plate, and if you have styrofoam meat trays at home or the leftover to-go boxes from a restaurant, those are sometimes made out of styrofoam. That's the tool that you'll need for this project. Pencil, pen. I have some markers for one type of printmaking and some paints for another. And I'm going to link a couple of YouTube videos after my video for some more advanced techniques if you're feeling really crafty and artsy today. So this is Mrs. Trantom's very simple drawing. I drew this out in pencil. When I was happy with it, I took it to a plate and I simply traced it with a ballpoint pen very gently, but enough to make the indentation in the plate. So let me do a little bit of that here to show you. Just gently trace. I'm not pushing so that I go through the plate or through the paper. Just gently trace each part. And be careful not to move your paper as you're going. If you move it, the pattern will adjust on your plate. Maybe mom and dad can help you by taping your art to the plate while you're doing the tracing. And you can see just barely have I made an indentation here. The second step is after you've traced your whole design, pull that paper off and go back over it. You can use a pen or a pencil for this part and just push into that design. Again, making it a little bit deeper, but not going through the plate or the meat tray. So I will trace my entire design, and when I'm done, it will look something like that. Now, the first method I'm going to show you is markers. These are simple Crayola type markers that you have at home, and whatever kind you have are fine. The no stain, water, whatever they are, washable, that'll work. Color your design. So I have 3 color choices here because I'm trying to do a bunch of things today. So that's simple. Now, I'm taking copy paper. I did this on a couple different types of paper, and this very inexpensive copy paper seemed to be the best. I have a bucket of water and a sponge, and I'm going to just squeeze out the sponge a little bit. If it's dripping, it's too much water. So this is a damp sponge, and I'm going to drag it across the paper. Sorry, you guys, you know I'm doing this one-handed. Drag it across the paper, not too wet. Just enough so that it has a little gloss to it. Great. Okay, I'm going to turn the plate over on my wet paper and give it a nice press, and then rub each area with my knuckles. Really pressing down, really getting all of that marker transferred onto the wet paper. Move over here, press down each part, even in the middle, really giving it a good rub. And when you're done, you'll lift it off and you have your print. Isn't that sweet? Now, let me show you some of my successes and failures. This guy, my paper wasn't wet enough. And this guy, I still had some ballpoint pen in there, so I washed it out, and my next one was much prettier. Also, this is yellow paint, and this is orange paint, so I want to show you quickly how to do that. If you want to try painting, now you'll see printmakers, professional printmaking uses a brayer, which looks kind of like a little paint roller, and they roll printer's ink onto a flat surface, and it's very fancy. I don't have that. You probably don't have a brayer at home. So I have a paintbrush, and I've got some tempera paints, or acrylic paints would work too. And you could use a kitchen counter or a bathroom counter, or if you have a glass patio table outside. This wouldn't work in the sun as well because it will dry out too quickly, but in the shade, that would be fine. So I have a circular plate, so I'm gonna make a circle, and I just mixed a little yellow and orange, and I've painted a very thin layer of paint. Let me see if I can get that so you can see it's really, really thin, no clumps. That orange thing is dried up old orange paint. So no clumps, no bubbles, just really thin. Then I'm going to turn my plate upside down on it, press in there, get that all covered. Again, you're doing that knuckle massage on your plate. Get it all covered with your ink. Our printing ink today is just paint. You need to wet your paper again. So with your sponge, not too wet. I'm just taking it across this way and down that way gently, just so it has a little bit of a gloss to it. Make sure I've got my paint on this. And then this is where you don't want to move it once you press it down. And then hold it in place and rub it with your knuckles. I'm going to hold it with my elbow. Rub it with your knuckles. Give it a good rub. Alright, I think I've hit all the spots. We'll know in a second, won't we? And then pull it up. There it is. So I had a little bit of blue left on it from the last print. You can wash them off with soap and water in between. I think that looks kind of cool with the blue behind it. So here's another print. You can keep making prints with your printing plate. Go on, and after they're dry, you can write little messages on them, whatever you want. As I said, this is a simple design. I'm going to link you up to 2 YouTube videos which have excellent instructions and some fancier things to do, like cutting your styrofoam plate up and reprinting. This type of printmaking is monoprint, where you do one press of the design. The fish one that I'm linking has where you cut up your design and add different colors and reprint on top of the same piece of art. And that's a different type of printmaking, and I think 4th and 5th grade you could try that. That would be really fun. This is hours and hours of fun. So enjoy printmaking this week on any kind of styrofoam plate, takeout box, or meat tray. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see the results of your printmaking. Post them in the comments. You can put them in an email to me at valerie.trantham@sumnerschools.org. I'm going to start organizing some online art shows, so I'd love to see your printmaking. Take care, everyone.